Hello there, welcome again. So in this session, we would see the demo for the Cloud ATP solution. But before this, let us first get into the SAP system and see the ATP behavior and the function. And then later on, we would be using it to compare it with the results from the Cloud ATP solution. So since I have already shared my screen, I will open the SAP system. Now this is our SAP system, which is on S/4HANA 2022. The first thing that we need to see here is the ATP scope configuration. So for this, we would be going into a transaction code, which is OVZ9. So we are now into OVZ9 transaction code, and here we see this is scope of availability check. So here we see there are many different availability groups and checking rule. What we are interested in today's demo session is the availability group 02 and checking rule A. So this is for the SD orders. I will select this and double click this. And inside this, we can see the complete scope for the checking rule A. We have different stocks like safety stock, stock in transfer, QI stock, block stock, restricted use stock, which are being considered in scope for ATP. Then we also have the future supply stocks. For example, if there are any purchase requisitions, purchase orders, shipping notifications, then we also have the requirements. If there are any existing sales orders or deliveries in the system, and then we are also considering reservations. One of the major aspect is we are also considering the RLT time, that is replenishment lead time. Now, since we are already aware of the scope of the ATP, next thing is to check the stock availability for a product. So for this, we will go into a new screen and we are going to enter into transaction CO09. So CO09 transaction code is basically for the availability overview of a product. Let us consider a product. And so this particular product is basically extended into three different plans: US01, PS01, and ZP01. Let us check for one of the plans, which is US01. We will also have to mention the checking rule. Since we were checking it for the checking rule A, I will insert the checking rule A and I will hit enter. Okay, so what we see now on the screen is the availability overview for this product in plant US01 for availability check 02 and checking rule A. Here we see we have some inventory stocks, for example, 450 quantities. Then we have requirements, I mean existing sales orders, deliveries in the system. Then we have future supply stocks like shipping notifications, PO items, purchase requisitions. Then we also have reservation stocks. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to take a screenshot of this as a reference, and then we can use it to compare it when we run our cloud solution. So this is the screenshot, and I'm going to paste this in a Word document for our reference. Okay, so now since we are also interested to know the delivery date for sales order requested quantity, let us also try to create a sales order in the system. So I will go into another new screen. I will enter VA01 transaction. Let us consider the standard order type. I will enter the sold to party, ship to party information, customer reference as ATP check. I will enter a payment term. And then let us consider the same product. I will consider order quantity as 10,000 pieces. and we will consider the planned US01 again. I hit enter. Okay. So now here, what we see is for the 10,000 quantities, the final or complete delivery date, confirmed delivery date, what we are getting is 25th March 2025. We are also going to take a screenshot of this. Okay. So this is our final delivery date. I'm gonna paste this as well in our Word document. Now, since this is done, let us move to our Cloud ATP solution. For this, I will first go to the BTP Fiori Launchpad. So I will close this and I will go to the BTP Fiori Launchpad. So this is our BTP platform, and I will go into the Fiori Launchpad. Yes, so this is our Fiori Launchpad on cloud, and here we have multiple applications for our Cloud ATP. Let us first go into the display ATP configuration application. I will open this. Here we need to put the availability check and checking rule. We are going to put the same availability check and checking rule what we already checked in the ERP. So it is 02 and checking rule is A. Let us click on display. Okay, so here we see the same configuration or the scope that we already saw in the ERP. For example, we are considering the stocks, different types of stocks. Then we are considering the requirements, wherein we have sales requirements, deliveries, reservations, then future supply, and we are also considering the RLT. Okay, now the question here is, how are we getting the data here? So the answer is very simple. We are using the HANA Cloud database for determining the ATP without calling SAP S/4HANA. Let me show you. This is the HANA Cloud Central. Here we have an instance of HANA database on cloud. And once I go inside this instance, we have different tables which are in a schema. If I want to see the output, I can, let's say we want to see the output for availability check control, which is the configuration, scope configurations for ATP. I will open the data. And here we can see all the data. Now, how is the data getting replicated to these tables? Right? So for data replication, we are using SAP DataSphere. And we are making use of existing CDC enabled CDS views from the S/4HANA. So I will also show you the DataSphere screen. Okay, so this is SAP DataSphere. If I go into the data builder, yes. So in the data builder, we can see there are many different replication flows which are running. If I just go into one of the replication flows, we can see there are different tables inside this replication flow, and the replication is happening from SAP S/4HANA to ATP Cloud. Now, if you want to see the monitor, we can also see that the initial and delta load, it is trying to replicate, and there is also a delta load interval. Currently, it is set to 5 minutes, but this could be customized as per the requirement. So this is all about the data flow, where data is being replicated from SAP S/4HANA to HANA database on cloud. The next important thing is, let us move to the request processing. So for the request processing, we would be using Postman to execute the Cloud ATP service for today's demonstration. So the user basically makes a request for ATP data, and then the request is then routed to the Cloud ATP service, which is the Node.js application in the SAP Cloud Foundry. So for this, let us move to the Postman. Okay, so now we are in Postman, and what we see over here is the Cloud ATP service or the API, and what we see below is the body or the payload, right? So in this, it is possible to create multiple line items. Here we can see only one line item, but there is a possibility to also enter multiple line items. What we need to pass is the product details, for example, the material, required quantity, required unit, and then the checking rule, so that it determines the scope of the ATP. Then what we see over here, we have two different functionalities. One is the ATP total stock, which will give us the availability overview, what we already saw in ERP. Then the next functionality is the ATP required stock. This is going to give us the delivery date for the requested quantity and the unit, what we enter for a particular product. So let us first see the ATP total stock functionality, and here I'm going to pass ATP total stock as X, and I'm going to make ATP required stock as blank. So with this, I will execute the ATP API. But before this, very important thing is the authorization. So let us go into the authorization tab. Here, what we see is authorization type of OAuth 2.0, which we are using. So this will basically generate a token, and then we are going to use this token. This will be consumed by our Cloud ATP API to process the request. So we are going to first get new access token. Once we would receive the token, we would use it or consume it. Once this is done, we can press on the send button. Okay, so now we see the status is 200 OK, and we have also received the output, but this output is in the JSON format. Let us convert this into a tabular format for better visualization. Okay, so now we have the data in the tabular format. Okay, one of the good thing that we see over here is we are able to see the output for different plans, right? We can also see the stock overview for PL01, and then from second line onwards, we are able to see the stock overview for US01, and then also for ZP01. So which was not possible in the ERP. There it was, if we wanted to see it for a different plan, that needs to be entered separately. But this could be done at once in our Cloud ATP service, right? Then what we are interested to know is the output, what we are getting over here. So for US01, it is again the stock 450 in the inventory. Then we have customer order 30, quantity delivery 10, shipping notification 50, PO item 100, purchase requisition, PO item 150, and stock reservation 20. So let us take a screenshot of this as well, so that we compare it with the data what we already received from the ERP. Okay, so 450, 30, 10, 50, 100, 450, 30, 10, 50, 100. Yeah. So this results are also matching with what we have already received from the ERP. Now the next important thing is we will again go into the Postman, and let us execute this service again for the another functionality for ATP required stock. So I will make the ATP required stock as X and ATP total stock to blank. Let us also clear the results. Okay, now let us click on send. We have already received the results and it is in status 200. Let us convert it into tabular format. Okay, so here as well, we are able to see the delivery dates for all the plants to which this material is extended, whereas the same was not possible in the ERP. So what we are interested now to know is for US01, for the same plant, we are getting the final delivery date as 25th March 2025. Let us take a screenshot of this as well, and then we compare it with the results that we received from the ERP. Okay, so it was 25th March 2025, and what we also got through ERP is the same. So another important aspect of the CloudATP API solution is the user extension. For this, let us go again back to the CloudATP Fiori Launchpad. Yes, so this is the CloudATP extension API application. If we go into this, we could see there are different extensions which the CloudATP solution provides. For example, one of them, let's say, is to update the scheduling days. So here, user have the possibility to create their own custom APIs, which could be hosted on any platform. And then the only thing that the user will have to do is to provide the details of the API in the custom extension API application. Like, for example, here what we see, the details would include the base URL, endpoint, and along with that, we are also using the authentication. So here we have used the basic authentication, which would include the username and the password. The important thing over here is the activation flag. Currently, this extension is deactivated. But let's say if we want to activate this, we would just have to click on the activation flag and save. So the current logic in this extension is that it would increase the RLT days by 1 day. So whatever final delivery date we had received previously, there would be an increase in 1 day in the final delivery date. Let us verify that. Before that, let us save the extension. Okay, now we see that extension has been activated. We go back to our Postman. Okay, so here we have the same details and we are going to execute this API again. Let us click on send. Yes, we have the output available and the status is also in 200. We would just convert this into a tabular format. All right. So we see that for the same material, US01 plant, we see that the final delivery date has now been changed to 26 March 2025. So previously it was 25th March 2025. The same has also applied to the other plants, ZP01 and PL01, where the initial delivery date was 18th March 2025. Now it has changed to 19th March 2025. So with this, we are providing the flexibility to the users so that they can create their own APIs and create an extensions, provide the details in the extension app, and then the rest would be taken care by the Cloud ATP Service API. So this is all about the extensions. Next, we again go back to our Fiori Launchpad. There is another application which is cloud logging application. This is a standard application which is provided by SAP. What we have done is we have just activated an instance of the cloud logging application. If we go inside the cloud logging application, so cloud logging application captures the logs related to request and responses. It also captures the system events, or it could be errors and performance issues. For example, here we could see some dashboards. We can also visualize the errors and performance for our APIs. For example, if we go into the dashboards, we can see different titles, the overviews, performance and quality, request and logs. If we go into the request and logs, we could see the our API request, which has been called. And if we expand, we would be able to see more details regarding the API request in tabular format, or if required, also in the JSON format. So this is used for solving the errors, or to trace the API performance issues. So that wraps up the demo for our Cloud ATP solution. Thank you for all your time and attention. Thank you.